Hi everyone. My name is Joy Ortiz. I am AWN Army Wife Network social media assistant. And today's MilSpouse Empowerment Moment, I'm going to be talking about working from home with kids and finding a balance between work life and home life, especially during this normal that we have that's going on right now. I know a lot of states are starting to open up, but from when this pandemic started, a lot of us had to transition to working in the office to working from home. So, like I just said, the pandemic forced a lot of parents to work, going from working in the office to working from home. And it, put a damper on some people's lives because the pandemic wasn't something that anybody could prepare for. So, a lot of people, when they worked or when they started to work from home and work remotely, it became a little bit of a difficulty. During the pandemic, when it first started, I actually was interviewing for a job, transitioning out of my old position and going into a new one. And I was grateful that that was able to happen. I was, looking for a career change, and it actually happened during the pandemic. So I could say, when I talk about my kids, or when I talk to my kids in the future, I could tell them when this pandemic happened, I got hired in a new position. I was a little scared when I was interviewing because I didn't know how it was going to work, if it was even going to be a thing that was going to happen. But, luckily for me, it did. And I'm grateful to still be getting a paycheck and being able to make ends meet because I know a lot of you guys are out of work, and a lot of people just have been displaced. And my hearts go out to you. I don't know how you're able to do it, but I just want to keep all of you in my prayers and thoughts, because I know it's been hard and it's going to continue being hard. Even the states are starting to open back up. I know Florida is in phase 2 of opening. I think they open bars now, and then retail stores, I think, are at full capacity. They can open full capacity. As far as time-wise, I don't think they've been open as nearly as late as they used to, but things are starting to slowly trickle back to what we are used to. I don't think we'll ever be able to get back to what we were, but being able to go out to restaurants and have dinner is nice and is now a luxury. So power to those who are able to do that. Even though I was able to score and land a job to permanently work from home despite the pandemic, it hasn't been the easiest transition. I was lucky enough to land a job, even though despite the pandemic, I was asked if I wanted to work from home, and I immediately took that into consideration, just because I didn't save money on commuting, save money on eating out. I'm here at my house, I don't have to go anywhere, so it just saves a lot of money to be able to work from home. However, I didn't account for my kids also being home with me. It's been difficult trying to find the balance between working and then also being a mom and a wife. But, with anything that happens like that, you're just forced to figure it out and, make things work that normally wouldn't work. And when all this happened, I was, forced to also, in addition to being a working mom and wife, being a homeschool teacher to my 5-year-old. Luckily, he's in pre-K, so it's not like really hard stuff. It's basically learning shapes and learning numbers and colors and reinforcing all that stuff he's been learning at school. And then teaching him how to read. That's been difficult. I've learned a lot of patience, and it was tested daily, especially transitioning from home in addition to being a teacher to my 5-year-old. You don't really realize how much teachers do until you have to do it. So you guys are very, very well, you guys are able to balance that, and power to you guys, because that is something that I don't have. And I thank you for everything that you all do. But once we figured out the routine, balancing schoolwork and the routine for our 5-year-old, it was a lot easier to do things during the day, as in doing his schoolwork, and we were able to power through to the end of the semester. So that was good. And all you parents, raise your hand if that has happened to you, if you've had to deal with it. I'm sure, and I know there's a lot of you having to deal with tougher things to teach your kids in school. So I shouldn't even be complaining about having to teach my 5-year-old how to read. I'm also lucky that my husband transitioned from going to school because he's a full-time student. So the university also made them go to remote school. So I'm lucky that he's also home with me with the kids, because I don't know what I would do if it was just me with the two of them and he was gone during the day. I would have to hire somebody to stay here and entertain them because I couldn't do it all. And I'm lucky that he's able to be here with home with me, and that we're able to tag team maintaining and entertaining our children. He is really good about putting them down for naps during the day, so that does really help me because it does take a while, especially for our 1-year-old to fall asleep. And he, as soon as she hits his chest, she passes out, so he has that magical touch for that. In regards to working, the key that I found out is to find a balance between working from work life and home life. Even though right now they're under the same roof, have to find, what works for you and your family, and then what works for you and your work. So here's some things that I found it's been it's now June, so since March, through 4 months of working from home. Some things that I found to be successful during this time. Make sure you have a dedicated workspace, some place that is a separate room with a door. You can see my door behind me that you can shut, and you can, block out things that are happening outside of the door. And it's very, very important that you have this. But the majority of us that are able to work from home have seen increased meetings, whether that's through phone or video. I know that I don't have a lot of meetings during the week, but I know my bosses and then my superiors, if I look at their schedule, they're back to back to back to meetings. So they have dedicated workspaces, I'm sure, where they're able to get away from things that are distractions, and so that they're 100% focused on who they're talking with. And so having a room that you can escape from, away from the kids, away from the dogs, will be beneficial to your success from working from home. Number 2, set your hours. Sorry, my notes are wrong or misplaced here. Set your hours to be the same as if you were going into the office. So if you're an 8 to 5 working from the office, make sure that you also wake up at the same time and you're sitting at your computer, whether it's your work computer or your desktop computer that you already have, and you get ready and you sit at your computer and you work those hours, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever your hours are. Number 3, wake up, take a shower, and get dressed. I know I'm really casually dressed today, but if you're feeling down and you're not feeling motivated, wake up and, take that hot shower and put on a nice shirt and some pants and like you're going to work. I know when I first started working from home, I needed that motivation because I was used to going into the office for a little over a year and getting ready and putting heels on and putting makeup on. And, it helped. It really helped to get you motivated, even though you're only walking a few steps to your your home office. It really helped to, have that routine, the same routine. Number 4, if your kids need you in the middle of the day, take a break. Walk away from work for a couple of minutes or, an hour or whatever time you need to, to take care of your kids and take them out for a walk. Fresh air during the middle of the day never hurt anybody. I know in my past job, I would see people in the middle of the day going out for a 20-minute walk just around the office and outside. So, if you were used to that routine, continue to do it. It's okay to take a break from work and come back and be re-energized. I know my company in particular is very aware that a lot of parents that are working with the company have kids and that their kids are also at home. So they're very accommodating to the fact that your kids are at home, and they understand your new work environment, and they want to encourage you to have that home life and work life balance because it's all under the same roof, and they don't want you to get bogged down and overwhelmed. So they encourage you to take breaks during the day. If you need to take a break to recharge, go ahead and recharge. My way of recharging is to spend time with my children and my family. And if I need to go take a walk for an hour in the middle of the day, why not go do that? It'll be beneficial to the success of working from home, just to be able to walk away from your work for a little bit and then come back. And number 5, the last successful thing that I've found that's helpful for me in particular during this time is, walking away from your work at the end of the day. physically and mentally. I know it's easy. You have your work computer in front of you and you're easily able to check your emails, and you probably get your emails to your phone. It's easy to check your emails and respond. But if it's 5 o'clock and it's time for you to get off work, log off. Those emails would be there tomorrow morning. If it is urgent, if it's something that your boss is like, I need this by the end of the day, and if it's not completed, I need it by at least the morning time, go ahead and take your break at 5 o'clock, walk with your family, do activities, and then come back and, answer some emails. But, like your hours that you set, stick to those hours, because you don't want to get bogged down with work because work and home are in the same place. You don't want that. It's going to take a toll on your life. It's all about finding the balance between your home life and your work life. Everybody's balance is different. This is my balance. Maybe and I hope that you're able to take some things from this and use it towards your work from home. And if you don't work from home, you can still take these things into consideration when you're working in the office. Fortunately for me, the pandemic has allowed me more time with my family, especially my fast-growing children. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. When I was pregnant with my first, we were still in the Army. My husband is a veteran now. And I had the luxury of not working. He didn't expect me. He just expected me to take care of our children, take care of our home. And so the first year of our son's life, I was at home. We went to the park every day. We walked every day. We sightseed every day wherever we were living. So it was really, really nice to be able to have that first year of life and being able to spend it with him. And then when I finally went back to work, he was a year old, I landed a job where I was able to work from home. And a lot of these things that I've listed here that are that I have figured out now were applicable back when he was a year old. So I was still able to be home with him and watch him grow up in those, very first couple of years that are vital years. But then when I had my daughter, 16 months ago now, I think, I'm not really positive, but she's a year and a few months. I didn't have that luxury. After 7 weeks of maternity leave, I was forced to go back to work. So forced to find a daycare that I trusted, forced to, wake up early in the morning and drop her off there and then go to work. And I only got a few hours with her every day, commuting to and from work and to and from daycare. And then when we got home, 6 o'clock, she's ready to eat dinner. And then by 8 o'clock, she's already in bed. So it's like 3 hours a day, max, spending time with her, other than the weekends. And so this pandemic really came at a good time. I can't say that it was all bad, because now I'm able to soak up all of her cuteness and all of she's just at a fun stage and fun age of life. And normally I wouldn't be able to see all these things. Yes, her teacher would send me videos and pictures of things that she's doing throughout the day, but it's not the same as actually witnessing it with her. So it's been really a blessing to see both of my kids interact with each other on a daily basis. And so the pandemic really, not that it's a good thing, but at the same time, it is a good thing, because I was forced to spend more time with my family, and I much, much appreciate it. I encourage all of you, to embrace this time. We've been in this transition period for a while now, and I'm sure a lot of you have figured out your routine, and just embrace the time with your family. Embrace those things that you normally wouldn't be able to do in the middle of day, that you would have to schedule some time out. But you guys are all at home, so why not go ahead and be spontaneous and do those things that you wish you could do? You can actually do them now. There's no excuses to say why you can't do it. Even though it's been difficult to balance work life and home life, it's still been a blessing to be able to be with my family, during this time, and spend a lot more time with them than I normally wouldn't have the chance to. And it just gives you perspective and how much you take for granted. Because I know when I was at work, you miss the quietness of work and being able to get things done. But if you're able to find your routine and a good balance, it's still able to be accomplished, and you can still spend time with your family. So I'm truly grateful to be able to work from home, despite what our world is going through right now. And I encourage you all to just soak it all up. You're not going to get this time back with them. And I know a lot of us are itching to get back to what we are used to, and whatever your daily routine is. But you're never going to get this time back, and why not make the most of it? So thank you for listening to my MilSpouse empowerment moment today. And I hope I was able to give you guys some insight into my life and what has worked for me working from home. And like always, if you have any questions or concerns about anything that we post, or if you want to join our team and you want to provide information and insightful information to others, please feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to more MilSpouse empowerment moments in the future. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend wherever you are, and enjoy that family time. Bye.